Well, how long do we have for closing statements? 2 minutes again? Okay. Just continuing on from where I was, that the purpose of the three branches of government are to defend your rights and apply, ensure that they're protected. The courts do that by dispensing justice in a fair, impartial, and proper manner. Our courts have a number of issues. The district courts has a number of issues that are facing it. Their difficulty, caseload is a problem. Working with the jail, and the jail does a great job, but it's hard to transfer people up and down, and that delays. I know some of you have expressed that you have a concern. Well, okay, we have to wait for the inmates to come, and then they get taken down, and then we can go a little bit, and it goes back and forth, and it delays things. And it does, and there's maybe ways we can get around it. The court, people are burdened with a lot of paperwork where they're trying to go paperless. People don't know how to do it right yet. There's not much training on how to do the paperless. There's attorneys need to get the forms, but there's not a good way to get to the forms. There's only one printer in the courthouse. Maybe there should be a second one for attorneys to have access to it. When we get out, and one of the other problems that we have with the district court is just the room in the courthouse. You get your client, you need to go talk to him. You end up having to go out in the hallway to talk to him out where everybody else can hear. There's a problem with that, but we don't have the room in the jail. So we try to work around those things, but hopefully the court will get those things sorted out. And again, the whole purpose is to protect your rights, and that starts with the district court. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you. So I just want to continue from my introductory remarks. We talk about a lot of theory, but being a district court judge is also part of the reality of day-to-day, which can be very boring for a lot of people, but it's something I find exciting. We do have a lot of challenges. I've been working part-time for you in the district court, going on my 14th year as a judicial officer. And I'm involved in the hiring of employees, the training of employees, the roughing out of the budget, creating their electronic probation manual. Before that, they didn't have one. I started the use of the computer system in the courtroom. I am starting this Wednesday, if you want to come look and laugh at me, video arraignments in the district court courtroom. And the issue is not just saying, oh, we got a problem, because there's a shortage of funds for all parts of the government, but it's also about having a solution. It's great to say there's a problem, but you got to have a solution. And there are solutions, and they are being worked on. Our administrator for the district court visited Thurston County recently with the IT departments of the county to look at their computer system for paperless court. It's a painful transition. I went through that transition in Thurston County where I pro-tem occasionally. I went through that transition in Kitsap County. Everybody has a different computer system, and the question comes down to what can we use here that we can afford here that will work here. Again, the staff is great. They're overworked, like many county employees are. But there's a solution. The solution is going paperless, getting a computer system on board, little things, mitigations by mail, contested infractions by mail. We do that partially right now. We need to switch to doing it to be available to everybody. I want to switch that over to a computer email system where it's encrypted messages and you have a key code to get in to do your ticket. That's done in Bremerton. So you can do your traffic ticket by computer if you want to and not show up to court. These are all little teeny steps to reduce the workload in the court and make things more time efficient. It's not just about theory. It's about reality and getting the job done. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for being too loud. Speaking of dignified, articulate court, Judge Meadows brings in, and this is not a slam on Judge Greer, on Stephen Greer. Judge Buzzard comes in, commands respect. I've heard people tell me that since Judge Sawyer retired, and I'm not trying to invoke a specter or a respected figure other than for any other reason, that someone said after he retired, we have not had a judge in this county who commands respect. I like Dan Goodell. I think he's a great judge. I like Amber Finley. I like Monty Cobb. Been a judge for about 3 weeks now. I think Judge Meadows did a great job, etc. Okay, but that's what we need. That's what we deserve. I had a lawyer, I forget who it was, he asked me to pledge, and I'm like, I can't pledge, but he said, do not go paperless. Now's not the time to talk about that. There is no incumbent in this race. Judge Greer is a part-time judge. Judge Steele is a part-time judge, meets 1 day a week, appointed by a 3-member city commission that doesn't exist anymore. So there's no incumbent. The experience that I have and the view and the concern I have for the nature and the function of the court are what I think I want to bring. I want to say this too. Our country is, and again, Republicans, I assume Republicans are conservative. I'm neither. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Our country is literally an experiment in liberalism. That's a fact. I have a copy, and my dad says I spent way too much money on framing because he's an art teacher and knows how to do it better. I have a copy of the Magna Carta on the wall of my office. I live and breathe this stuff. The Magna Carta, the Great Charter, they took King John hostage in 1216, said, listen, we like you. You can continue to be king if you do things like guarantee a speedy trial, guarantee not holding people without charges, things like that. There's a lot going on right now, and we need a judge who, okay, the law is about spotting the issues. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. That's why I got 95th percentile on my LSAT. That's why I was on the law review at Tulane University. That's why I practiced law at the highest level of corporate finance in New York City. I've been here since 1995. Thank you very much.
I'm going to conclude with a brief discussion on what I think is important for us to consider while we're looking for the right candidate for the district court. The issue to me is, how do you stop what's called recidivism? How do you catch people in a situation? If you look at what district court is where you're going for misdemeanor and gross misdemeanor criminal issues. You're also addressing issues where this might be the first time that people are before the court in any capacity. And what we're trying to do, at least in the criminal element, is catch people when they're at their first and second and get them on the right path. I have a tremendous success rate with my clients about that, because one of the things I realize is that it's about people. It's about reaching them. It's about talking to them. When you're going through alternative sentencing discussions with my clients, and what I intend to do from the bench is going to be, well, look, this is what the law says. If you want to go through a diversion, you've got to go do X, Y, and Z. This is what I tell my clients when they come to see me if they want to have a diversion. You're going to go ahead and do that, and as a judge, what I tell the clients is the judge is going to be bound to follow that, because that's what it says. You have to do this. What I tell my clients is, good luck getting a job after that, though. Here's what you need to do. If it says you need to do, if an assessment says you need to do 2 AA meetings, you're going to go to 4, because you want to turn it around, because you're going to use this as a chance. I believe that inspires people to do better, to be better. The other things I want to tell you is, when it comes to what we're talking about now, we are in a financial crisis. Judge Meadows wrote a letter to the commissioner, and I want to quote this. It's November 1st, 2017. District Court has not been properly staffed for several years. We have managed to get by, however, the service to the public is compromised. That will not do. We need to be better. We need to do better. We need to try to work with what we have. You'll find an interview on Web TV. I encourage you, when it comes out, to listen to what all of the candidates have to say. Thank you.
Again, I want to thank this organization for putting on this event to allow people to have a chance to meet the judicial candidates. I believe that's very important. As we've all indicated, we face many challenges with our court system going into the future, and I believe its experience is going to be needed in order to address those challenges. And my court is not a one-day-week court. It's a half-time court. I'm usually there, not almost always there, every day of the week. And it's more than just sitting on the bench for one day, for a Wednesday, which is our biggest calendar. It also involves running the court. I hope the county does introduce and go to the videos, because it's worked really well for my court. We've been doing it for several years. I've also been a pro tem for district court. And part of what I want to do is, again, be part of the solution, and what a judge can do is be the voice. I can't order someone to go build a big jail order people to establish new programs, but I can advocate for those things to occur so that we can have an effective program. My philosophy is the first priority of the court is to apply the law and make sure that people are dealt with according to the law and treated fairly. And that will always be my primary duty as a judge. So again, I thank you. Bottom line is, I believe I do have the most judicial experience. I do care about this county, and I thank you for your support. Thank you. I will have.